Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to, well, what is this? What are we doing today? Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about free-to-play games. We're going to talk about deceptive practices. We're going to talk about Diablo Immortal. This is going to be probably a 30-minute or so video. Who knows? You know what? I'm not going to call it in advance. But what we're going to be going over today is we're going to be going over, number one, my stance on free-to-play games. Number two, how free-to-play games are deceptive and will take advantage of certain people. What kind of practices they actually use to take advantage of you, and what you can do to combat against it. Besides just simply don't play the game. So first off, my stance on this video game or all free-to-play games is I don't particularly like free-to-play games. I feel like that every single free-to-play game out there, no matter how well it is done, is vulnerable at some point to the whims of the person running it. In other words, imagine you have a country that is run by the most benevolent person ever, and let's say one day this benevolent person comes on hard times, and he realizes that, hey, he's the leader of the country. He can do whatever he wants. And so he takes advantage of the people to help himself. And that's a free-to-play game in a nutshell, is that no matter how good the free-to-play game is, no matter how well built, no matter how well structured, the free-to-play game will inevitably take advantage of its user base, and I've seen this time and time again. Usually through the act of putting items on the shop that are like one-time only buys that come up like 6 or 7 times, and that literally, like, if you don't buy this item, you literally can't compete with other players. I mean, it has happened before. Now, literally the only free-to-play game that I have played to this date that has done things correctly, or mostly correctly, is World of Tanks. Is World of Tanks immune to this, deceptive practices and pay to win? No. But they do have right now a very interesting structure which works fairly well. Do you have to buy anything to be able to compete in World of Tanks? Not really. Are there tanks that you can purchase that would give you kind of like an unfair advantage? Maybe. In the old days, World of Tanks used to have gold currency, and the gold currency was used to purchase gold ammunition, and that gold ammunition was better than all the other ammunition, and it was very pay to win. But it was a long time ago, I think like 10 plus years ago, that they changed that. And literally you can buy that same gold currency with regular currency now. It's just at a higher rate. And anybody who actually plays the game, who has a little bit of skill level, can usually obtain plenty of gold currency with no issue. So let's get down to like the nitty gritty, shall we? So the first thing on the list, exploiting cognitive biases and vulnerabilities through deceptive design. Cognitive bias, what does that mean? Cognitive bias is talking about a person who might not be so intelligent. If you look up the word cognitive, cognitive's definition is definitely the cognitive process revolved in reading. Let's see. The concept of learning itself is also an example of cognition. This is about the way in which the brain makes connections while remembering what is learned, the ability to reason logically in an excellent example of cognition, problem solving, and making judgments about information. So we have here a exploitation of the cognitive bias of vulnerabilities through deceptive design. Now, what does this mean in a nutshell? What this means in a nutshell is that when you go into the store, it is not readily apparent to someone of lesser intelligence how things work. So if I make 6 or 7 different currencies, this is an example of that, right? So let's take a look really quickly at Diablo Immortal, and let's see how many currencies there are in Diablo Immortal. Let's count them up, shall we? I feel like this is a good test. Have they made a deceptive system which is difficult to understand for people of lesser intelligence? And let's just go to the shop and let's have a look, shall we? So right off the bat, we have platinum. That's 1. We have eternal orbs. That's 2. We also have the crests, both the legendary and the regular crests. So that's 3, 4. So we're already up to 4 different currencies. We also have these things called hilts, which, or sorry, we have gold, so that's 5. Gold is the basic currency, right? We also have the hilts, which I'm pretty sure is up here on one of these. Oh, there's another one right there, the scoria. So we've got 5, 6, 7. We got 6. And then the hilts are 7. I can't find the hilts right off the top of my head. And let's see here. I might as well put down my hands. I'm already past the number of fingers for one hand, and I got to use the mouse. Hilts are used up here to purchase legendary items. So that's 7. We got 7 different kinds of currency at this particular point. And then on top of that, we also have the rune system, which of course is put into the game sort of because Diablo has runes. But let's not say that they're not exploiting this, because I feel like they are. So the runes themselves could be counted as another form of currency, which could be 7, 8. I mean, we've got the hilts right here. These are the hilts, which is another form of currency.
This world desperately
just in general, there are so many different forms of currency within free-to-play games that it becomes very difficult to understand exactly what's going on. And for those people who are willing to sit down and figure it out, or for those people who go online and look up a list of information, that will tell them what's going on. But for your average person who's just picking up the game, a little kid maybe, who's 14 or 15 years old, who is just into the game and he's having a lot of fun and he's using his mommy's credit card to purchase, a loot box or whatever, he has no idea what's going on. And what this comes down to is that if you are deceiving the person, if you're not making things transparent, you are in effect using deceptive practices. And not only that, but I feel like the advanced sort of like weird structure that free-to-play games make is deliberately designed to exploit the cognitive bias of younger people and those with issues up in their mind. Maybe they have a gambling addiction. Maybe they have an addiction to the number of cosmetics that they've got to have, and they've got like 33 cosmetics for one character. Whatever it may be, it happens. Second on the list, using aggressive marketing practices to push sales at every opportunity. So right here on this little thing, I have a bunch of pop-ups, which I have already dismissed, but these are things like rare crests available at the Elder Rift. Daily activity rewards are available in the Codex. Shadow lottery has begun. Over here will pop up all these messages like one-time loot box available for you to buy in the shop. You can only buy this box now. Look, 800% value gain, 460% value gain, 260% value gain, 390% value gain. When you go to the cosmetics, they've got they've got all of the things here, and they show you how they look, and they're literally going through the process of like advertising these things everywhere. So like when you open up the shop, you've got all of the things being advertised. These are the daily rewards right here. I have dealt with free things for a long time, and I'm going to tell you right now, I can use Kroger as an example. Kroger has these they had a free download for a while where all you had to do was download the coupon to come get a free item, and they did away with that, but now they still do these weekly deals, which are like really, really good deals. Don't get me wrong, it's really, really good deals, and if you would like to go into Kroger and get those deals, by all means do so. But I'm going to tell you why they do this, okay, so that you know, and I'm going to tell you why they give you free things in the shop. They do it because it brings you there, okay? Kroger wants you in the store, because if you're not in the store, you can't spend money. The free-to-play games want you in the store, because if you're not in the store, you can't spend money. If you're not in the game, you can't spend money. So of course they're going to give you free things. But here's the thing. What are they giving you exactly? They give you gold. Gold's a form of currency that they really undervalue and they don't really care about. They're giving you, what is it? The regular crests, which aren't even really that great. They give you like materials so that you can upgrade your items and stuff like that. Oh, and that's another thing. Let's go over the upgrade materials because I had totally forgotten about that. We already went over the, the hilts, the gold, the platinum, the orbs, the crests, the legendary crests.
What do you need,
And we didn't even talk about the fact that you literally need different forms of currency to upgrade your equipment as well. You need the pieces of armor that you break down, and then you also need these enchanted dusts, which come from monsters. Basically, what it comes down to is there's so many different forms of currency in this game.
Be safe, all right? Hey there.
That it becomes kind of like okay, I don't really know what's going on unless you know what's going on. Like, if you weren't a Diablo 3 player like me, and you hadn't already played Diablo 3, you wouldn't know that those salvage scraps and those enchanted dusts existed in the other game. But in this game, well, you can get them from the shop. Like, you can literally, like, if you look on the shop, a lot of these bundles will literally come with like enchanted dust and stuff like that, and like, you can trade in for things. Like, these are used to reforge your items, legendary quest stones, platinum, and more. And then on top of that, they usually throw in other things like services. So these services, the battle passes and things like that, I'm actually not entirely against the battle pass. Like, I feel like the battle pass is kind of a cool way to support the game. And if it was by itself and there wasn't any other things involved in the battle pass, I might be all right. But the problem is that the battle pass is in addition to everything else. I mean, could you imagine you go to the car shop and you go to get your car repaired, and you pay for your car to get repaired, and then the guy says, okay, well, for $14.99 a month, we'll cover, anything that goes wrong with your car, and we'll fix it. And then you take it in to get it fixed, and he's like, oh yeah, well, we were going to do anything to repair your car. We're going to cover the labor, but you still got to buy the platinum coins and the orbs, and you need to get the salvage parts, and you got to get the enchanted dust, and you got to get this, and you got to get that, and you got to get this, and by the time you're finished, that $14.99 didn't really seem like such a good deal, because what it covered wasn't really what they had said. And while the battle pass seems really cool in thought, and in some games I think it's actually done well, in most games it's not. Then you have other things like this, the Boon of the Plenty. Now, the Boon of the Plenty might be an interesting thing if it was a one-time purchase, but as you can see here, provides 30 days worth of benefits in addition to daily login rewards. So what we have here is we have another indicator that they are trying to soak even more money from you for that they can. And we already have $9.99 here, right, for a 30-day period. This is a 30-day period, so $9.99 here. $4.99 here, and then $14.99 for the Empowered Battle Pass. So right off the bat, we've already got $15 if you wanted to buy the pass and the Boon of Plenty, and then we've got what, $9.99 plus $14.99, so we've got $25 if you wanted to buy both of these, which on its own isn't really that big of a deal. If you're going to pay $60 for a video game, $25 seems like a steal, right? Then throw in a cosmetic. Maybe you want something really nice, like maybe you want this really cool Crystalline Echoes cosmetic. Well, 1,000 orbs. How much is 1,000 orbs? This goes right back to exploiting cognitive biases and vulnerabilities through deceptive design. How much is 1,000 orbs? So then we gotta go and we gotta buy orbs. So we gotta figure out how much orbs are. And then here's another one right here, where they charge you more for less. So if you don't have a lot of money and you can only afford a small amount of orbs, it's going to cost you more. And every single time you go up in the orbs, they give you a bigger discount. And essentially what they're doing is they're trying to encourage you to spend more and more money. Which, by the way, to purchase that particular one, notice that there's no 1,000 orb pack. There is a 1,500 orb pack. And why is it that specific way? Well, it's that specific way because they want you to have leftover orbs. And you might be asking yourself, well, why do they want you to have leftover orbs? Because if you have leftover orbs, you're going to see it as value that is lost, and you are more likely to buy more orbs, which is the reason why 1,500 orbs is the amount that they charge you. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to buy the cosmetic, which is at 1,000, and then you have 500 left over. And 500 doesn't buy anything. So if you want to spend those 500 orbs, you're going to have to buy another 1,500, which is going to get you another 1,000 and another 1,000, because 500 plus 500 is 1,000, and then the 1,000 from the 1,500, so you end up with 2,000, which means you can buy 2 more cosmetics. So what they're trying to do is force you into buying more than you would otherwise want to, and the practices of free-to-play games have always been like this. Their packs are always designed specifically around making you get more. As you can see here with the platinum coins, we've got 500, 5,000, and 50,000. It only cost me 3,000 platinum coins to make a clan, and all I wanted was 3,000 platinum coins to make the clan. But because I needed 3,000, and the only way to get 3,000 was to spend 500, here I am again in a situation where I have a surplus of platinum coins, but not necessarily enough to do something with. And so this again becomes another situation where you are forced to purchase more than what you would necessarily otherwise need. Think about like when you purchase something on eBay or something like that. If I went to eBay and I purchased an item that was $29.99, and eBay comes up and goes, okay, well, we have a $39.99 package, we've got a $59.99 package, and we've got a $100 package. Which one do you want? And you're like, none, I want $29.99. And they're like, well, we don't have that. So you have to choose the $39.99, you pay for the item, and then $10 goes into your PayPal account. And then imagine PayPal doesn't let you use that money, doesn't let you take that money out, so that money's just stuck in your PayPal account. So to use it, you would have to add more money to your PayPal account, and then eventually, you would have enough to spend on something, but PayPal has got you. They've got you in a cycle of look, you've got a little bit of money here. Don't you want to do something with your little bit of orbs that's left over from your last purchase? Well, you're going to need more orbs, so definitely go and grab more orbs. And, oh no, you don't have any orbs. Let's go check out the packages. Do we have a package that'll fit you? So I have 190 orbs, and I want to buy 5,000 platinum coins. I need 500 orbs. And what packages are there? Well, there's a 300 package, and I have 190. So that's not enough. So what's the one up? The one up is 600. Now I'm going to have another, 290 left over. So again, I'm going to have left over every single time, and that's how it's designed. Let's move over to the next topic, which is giving meaningless or misleading transparency disclosures about the likelihood to win or lose that are difficult to assess. So this has to do with loot boxes, and while I haven't seen anything specifically loot box orientated in Diablo Immortal, I do think that the crests may be considered kind of like a loot box. So basically what you're doing here is you're buying a crest, and then when you buy the crest, you go over to the Elder Rift, and you go and complete an Elder Rift with the crest. It's a lot like buying a key and opening a loot box. What is inside the loot box? You don't know. But you did pay for the key, and the key does in fact open a box, and the box does in fact give you an item. If I go over here to the Elder Rift entrance and I click on it, you'll notice that they'll give you these crappy crests, basically. These are the crappy ones. The legendary crests are the ones that have the possibility of giving you a gem. Now, what does this mean? Well, it means that the gem is random. So you don't know specifically what gem you're going to get, just like you don't know specifically what item is going to pop out of a loot box. Now, if it was just simply something that I could go in here and click on and just do on a regular basis, that would be fine. But because the crests, the legendary crests, are purchasable on the shop, it's essentially a loot box type endeavor. Now, what are they talking about specifically here? So what they are talking about specifically is not revealing to the customer what the chances are, what the odds are. If you go to the lottery table in Virginia, they will tell you the odds on winning. They will tell you, like 1 in 218,317,423. And they do this because they want it to be transparent. And if free-to-play games were transparent, there wouldn't be an issue. Like if you went online and somebody said, "Hey, if you buy this, you're an idiot," and then you buy it anyway. Well, guess what? You made a choice. You made a deliberate choice. Just like a person who goes to the lottery table makes a deliberate and specific choice to buy a lottery ticket, despite the fact that they know they're probably not going to win. Which basically is like throwing money away, right? I mean, yes, some people do win, but you know, because of the transparency that has been made aware to you, that buying that ticket is probably going to be throwing away your money. Using opaque algorithms and skewed probabilities. So what this is talking about is it's talking about like the behind the scenes. Like if it says it's a 25% chance to get an item and it's not really a 25% chance to get an item, then something's wrong. The probabilities are skewed away from what they're telling you. And a lot of video games I've noticed, because I've played a lot, and I mean a freaking ton of video games, the probability calculators on all of them are not the same. For instance, I have really had to get used to Final Fantasy XIV's probability calculator because I would have like a 95% chance to do something and I'd fail 4 times in a row. And Final Fantasy XIV is not a free-to-play game, but it is very obvious that the random number calculator in Final Fantasy XIV was really, really stupid. And free-to-play games can do whatever they want behind the scenes. They can change the probabilities in the background on the fly. One week it could be a 30% chance instead of a 25, and the next week it could be a 10% chance instead of a 25% chance. You don't know what's going on behind the background, behind the scenes. The next one, using layers of virtual currencies to mask or distort real-world monetary costs. And this is something that we were just talking about. How many different currencies do we have right now? How many different forms of buying things do we've got? I mean, we have money, of course, real hard-earned dollars, whether it's American dollars or Canadian loonies and toonies, or whether it's Italian lira, whatever it is, we've got money. That is the first currency on the table. Then we've got platinum coins, then we've got orbs, then we've got hilts, then we've got scraps, then we've got enchanted dust, then we've got crests, then we've got legendary crests, then we've got gold, then we've got scoria. I mean, we're already up to 10 different currencies within the game that all have a purpose and a use. And at what point do you know exactly how much something is worth? Especially when they have it set up so that the more you purchase, the more you get. So if I buy 60 orbs for 99 cents, that means that 60 orbs are worth 99 cents. And we can actually take a calculator and we can divide that out, right? So we can try and be smart about this. We can go, okay, well, 0.99 divided by 60, which means each orb is technically worth, about a penny and a half, according to this. But if we buy the $99.99 package, we'll just round it off to 100 for reasons. The $100 package with 6,000 plus 12,000, right? So divided by 7,200. Now our orbs are worth 1 penny and 1.3 pennies instead of 1.6 pennies. So a person who buys the big giant packages gets a better deal and his money goes further. But then what do you use your platinum coins for? Or your orbs for? You use your orbs to buy things like platinum coins and you convert currencies into other currencies. And before you know it, your orbs have been spent on, a many other multitude of things, which filter out to a distortion of how much you've actually spent on the game. And that's the whole point. They want you to feel like you don't quite understand what you're spending. Because if you knew you were spending $3,000 on the game, before you spent $3,000 on the game, you probably would not have spent $3,000 on the game. Let's be honest. It's just like a little pop-up comes up at the beginning of the game, and they're just like, by the way, you're probably going to spend around $3,000 to $4,000 on this game if you want to beat it. And then you would just log right out. Next on the list, the very high cost of freemium and endless grinding. So I've talked about this before on many occasions, and this is basically the process by which the game makes the end goal unobtainable, essentially, for your average person. So think about it like this. Let's say I said I was giving away $1 million to the person who climbed the mountain first. But then I say that the mountain is Mount Everest. And only the most dedicated, only the most extreme people are going to make it to the top of Mount Everest. And, I put in different little catches here and there in the contract. So, like, you can't have outside help. Because in most free-to-play games, you can't trade items with each other. So nobody's able to hand you anything. Like, even if you were dying of thirst, your friend can't hand you a bottle of water. I put in other little hitches, like like all along the path to the top of Mount Everest, I put in little paywalls, or like you've got to pay, $10 to get past this, or $5 to get the item that you need to cross over the gap of Rohan. And I'm just making jokes now. And basically what happens is that if you make the goal so far away and so unobtainable, and you make it so that even someone who literally grinds 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, takes forever to get there, then of course people are going to pay money to speed up the journey. If I put you in a car and told you it was going to take you a year to get to your destination, and then had a little pop-up in the middle of your destination, or maybe like right at the beginning that said pay $29.99 to skip the year and go straight to your destination, I guarantee you a lot of people would probably pay the $29.99 to skip a year of literally wasted life. Next, the risk of losing content at any time. So this is an interesting one for free-to-play games. What you guys don't realize is that you don't own any of this. In the contract, in the terms of service for most of these games, is a clause that literally says that everything, including your character, all of the items are owned by the company, and they can revoke them at any time, and you literally can't say jack about it. And if the free-to-play game were to end today, all of your stuff would be gone with it. And this is one thing that has always bugged me about free-to-play games, about buying things online in general, is that if I go to the store and I buy a bottle of Centrum vitamins, it's mine. But if I go on this shop and I buy a cosmetic, is it really mine? Because if the server goes down, it's gone. If the company decides they want to ban my account for whatever reason, it's gone. If the company decides they want to take it away, it's gone. I literally can't stop them because all of this stuff is not mine. It's on an account somewhere on a server, probably in Texas, which is where a lot of the data centers are over in Texas, because it's nice and dry over there. The targeting of loot boxes and manipulative practices at kids. So this kind of goes along with the first one of exploiting cognitive biases and vulnerabilities through deceptive design. It's very similar, except I believe that loot boxes are essentially gambling. I have believed this for a very long time, and obviously, in many places, gambling is not legal for children. But in a way, loot boxes are literally gambling for children. Now, why do we make gambling off limits to children? Why? What's the reasoning behind that? What's the actual real reason why they make loot boxes or gambling? Why they don't let 13-year-olds in a casino to play blackjack? Well, the answer is because these children don't fully understand the consequences and the undertones of their actions. So if you gave a little kid $20 and he went into the casino and lost it, he wouldn't understand why he lost the $20. He doesn't understand the value of the $20 he had in his hand to begin with, and he definitely doesn't understand how the rules of the games work, which is generally why when it comes to gambling, you force a person to wait until they are of the cognitive ability that would allow them to understand what is going on. Now, just because a person is 18 or 21 years old or whatever the minimum age for gambling is in your particular country, that does not necessarily mean they have the cognitive ability to understand what's going on. But by limiting the age of the people, you are essentially trying, at least trying, to make sure that this person understands what's going on. Now, if it were up to me, I wouldn't make it 18 or 21 because I don't feel like most 18 or 21 years old are smart enough to understand what's going on. If you're 18 or 21 years old, I apologize to you, but it's a scientific fact that the mind does not stop growing and learning and expanding until you get to around 30 years old. So at 18 years old, you're still a underdeveloped mind, which can be taken advantage of. And when I think back on my life, when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, I was very, malleable. It was very easy to sort of like convince me of just about anything. Like if you sat there and you threw the evidence at me, I'd be like, oh yeah, the sky really is red, man. I never would have known. I mean, when I'm looking at it right now, it's totally blue, but yeah, I see what you're saying. It's definitely not blue. And you think I'm joking. Oh, man. So let's talk about Diablo Immortal real quick because I've already gone on for 32 minutes. Diablo Immortal. Does Diablo Immortal check any of these boxes? Yes, it does. It has the layers of virtual currency down packed. The layers of virtual currency to distort real money monetary value is definitely in place very, very, very highly. Using opaque algorithms and skewed probabilities. I feel like we do have an opaque algorithm and skewed probabilities. I also feel like we have loot boxes, which are being disguised as not being loot boxes. The legendary crests, I feel like, are definitely loot boxes. And essentially, you're buying a loot box which has a legendary gem in it, and the legendary gem is random. And since you don't know which gem you're going to get for each individual crest that you put down, you're basically saying, in a nutshell, here, buy this little key, go into the thing, turn the lock, see if you get the one you want. Well, if you didn't, we'll come back and get another key, and just keep buying keys until you get the gem that you want. Now, granted, you can craft gems and things like that, and they do have pathways to get to these legendary gems and things like that with different forms of currency, which again, I was talking about earlier. One of the other forms of currency they have in the game basically is these runes. The runes are essentially acting as another form of currency, which is very sad because in Diablo 2, runes are not currency. They are, they are basically used to create items. They are items of high value, and they did eventually become currency because people realized, hey, a freaking Jaw rune is a very valuable rune, and I'm not just going to give this away for free because I could make an Enigma or a Dream or any other number of items with it. So it gained value because of its place in the game, but not necessarily because it was used as a currency. It's kind of a contradiction in terms. If you have an item that is created as currency and it becomes valuable versus an item that is not created as currency that becomes currency. So it is an item that is very valuable, and because it is valuable, it becomes currency. And that is the completely opposite way of creating an item specifically that is currency. Let's see here. Very high cost of freemium and endless grinding. I don't believe that Diablo Immortal falls into this category just yet. I've played the game, and I haven't had too much issue grinding out things. I really haven't spent very much money in this game at all. I bought a cosmetic, which, of course, it was the Diablo 2 cosmetic, so they had my number from the beginning. The Diablo 2 cosmetic is really cool, and I'm going to be honest with you, they really thought this one out because it makes your character look like an Amazon, a barbarian, a paladin, a necromancer, an assassin, or a sorceress from Diablo 2. And I love Diablo 2. So they had my number with this. They literally dialed me up on the phone, and they're like, hey, Ginger Gaming Mentor, we have a Diablo 2 skin in Diablo Immortal that we think you would just love. And you know what? They got me. But the cosmetic hasn't helped me grind in any way, shape, or form. It didn't give me any EXP bonus. It's whatever. So free to play, what else did I spend money on? Just as a complete transparency. So I made a guild. So one of the things that I wanted to do right off the bat was for my kinship, I wanted to make a kinship for everyone so that everyone could join. This is my kinship, and so far we already have 92 members somehow, I don't even know, and lots of clan members. But the thing is that what did we achieve by this? Well, we just made a group, and to do it, I had to buy platinum coins. So I had to buy the 5,000 package I was talking about earlier, which means I have 2,300 coins left over. So I'm in a situation where I literally have extra currency, as we were talking about earlier, layers and layers of currency to obfuscate how things work. Now, the only thing that I purchased that might have helped me level up was the Battle Pass. So let me go and pull that up really quickly. I figured if I was going to be playing this game for a while, the very least I could do was purchase the Battle Pass. Now, I did not purchase the regular Battle Pass. I actually purchased the Collector's Edition Battle Pass, which came with cosmetics. So, cosmetic, 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 cosmetic. And then it came with this, which was Battle Pass gains 10 ranks immediately. So if we go and we take a look at the Battle Pass, which I believe is... I'm telling you, man, that this game is already kind of complicated, just in general. And let's see here. There's the Battle Pass right here. So let's go back and let's take a look and see what they gave me. They gave me scraps. That's one of the forms of currency in the game. Hilts, another form of currency. They gave me the cosmetic, scoria, which is another form of currency. Currency. The gems you can put inside your equipment, but they can't actually be sold for platinum. I actually sold several of them for platinum. Scrap materials, currency. Crests, another form of currency, basically, that you use inside of the Elder Rifts. This is a legendary gem, so that's one item that might have helped me out a little bit. Increases 6% damage when killing elite packs. Then we have currency, more gems. We have another key, which is another form of currency. I forgot about that. That one is the one that opens Ibn Fod's Sanctum. So that's 11 forms of currency. My bad, not 10. 1, 2, currency. So basically the Battle Pass just gives me a whole bunch of currency. The only thing in the Battle Pass, honestly, that I saw that actually kind of helped me level up, literally was this. This is the only thing that really kind of helped me level up, which was the mystery legendary offhand. It basically gave me a shield, and it let me choose which shield I had. So it's actually the shield that I'm still using right now. It's this one right here, which is the constant scrutiny. Shield glare now blinds all enemies around you. I've been using this for quite some time, but I found this one myself, 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 and I found, I thought I had one more, but I guess I don't. But I have found a lot of legendary items myself, and I've had absolutely no issues locating items. The game so far, to me, has been very fun to play as a free game. If you just want to download this game, and if you have the self-control not to spend any money on this game, there's absolutely no reason why you have to. I have been able to level up just fine without spending a single dime. And quite honestly, I've found plenty of items. I've found plenty of equipment. I've had lots of fun playing with my friends. But does that mean that this is a good game to play? No, it doesn't. If you can't control yourself, if you find yourself spending 40, 50, 60, 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000, $10,000 on a free-to-play game, free-to-play games are not for you. I'm going to tell you right now, if you can't control how you spend your money, if you cannot control your wallet to the point where literally you are spending thousands of dollars on these free-to-play games, you need to like really take a step back and really think about it, because it's a waste of money. I mean, it really is a waste of money, especially when you consider the fact that you could play this game absolutely free for the same thing. I'd be like if I walked up and somebody had a game that I could play for free on the street or something, like cards, and we're just having fun playing poker together for free. And I'm like, you know what would be really fun? Let me just give you $1,000. Let me just give you $3,000. We're still playing the same game. Nothing's changed. Maybe we got fancier poker chips, and maybe we got some cards with little naked ladies on them or something. But we're still playing the same game. 40 minutes in, I feel like I've talked enough on free-to-play. If you have anything to talk about as well, let me know. There are articles that I can link in the description for you guys if you'd like to go over them. These are articles that go over free-to-play games. There are companies out there who are literally filing lawsuits and filing, what's the term? Right here, they use this one term, 59-page document using FIFA 22 and Raid Shadow Legends as case studies, claiming both games employ a wide arsenal of tricks to push consumers into spending as much time and money as possible, exploiting consumers who hope to receive the reward despite a minuscule chance and likelihood to do so. Let me end this by just simply saying, do I think that Diablo Immortal is a bad game? No. Do I think that Diablo Immortal is using the deceptive practices that most other free-to-play and pay-to-win and pay-to-advance games use? Yes, I feel like they absolutely are. And I do think that it is important to realize that if you are supporting a game that is using these deceptive practices, you are essentially supporting the exploitation of the people who don't know better, who don't understand what's going on. The kids who are spending, their hard-earned birthday money. The adults who are not quite all there in the head, who are literally wasting their entire paycheck on the game. And I don't like to encourage anyone to have a bad time. Like if I see someone being exploited, I don't want them to be exploited. And the last thing I want to do is encourage something that uses those exploitative practices. You can play this game and you cannot spend a single dollar and you can have fun with it. But the question is, can you play the game and not spend a single dollar on it? Can you have the willpower to control your wallet? As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when it is a 43-minute video on free-to-play tactics. And as always, keep watching.